Mangwanani Mwalelepo Vukenjani Klekwasvanave Africa. Welcome to Africa Good Morning, the news and current affairs show bringing you everything you need to know right here in Namibia, Africa, and beyond. You're joined by Ashmberi and Diana Master. Glad to have you back.
Glad to be back.
Yes.
It's been a while.
It's been a minute.
But I'm happy to be back.
All right, and looking wonderful too.
Exactly. That's why I decided to dress up like this, because this is
African
what
queen.
Screams Africa Good Morning better than this.
There we go.
Exactly.
Agreed.
Now let's get into what you can expect in today's broadcast. Water-starved families are being charged for free municipal water. Mozambique's ruling party announces Chapo as a presidential candidate, and Rwanda denies role in deadly DR Congo IDP camp attack. We'll also be bringing you news from Zambia a little later on in the show with Mike Sichila. For now, we'll take a quick ad break and get into our top stories thereafter.
Neo Paints has established a 67-year Namibian legacy, creating personalized paint solutions that blend quality and innovation for the Namibian people. We pride ourselves in being a 100% Namibian-owned company, investing in our country and our people by employing and empowering true Namibians. With every brushstroke, Neo Paints commits to our quality guarantee and always delivering a coat of excellence. At Neo Paints, we always stay true to our country. We are as Namibian as you.
All right, we start our top stories in South Africa. Drivers of water trucks owned by a private company which has attended to deliver free water on behalf of eThekwini municipality are selling water. A ground-up investigation has revealed at least 2 drivers employed by Multi Solutions Trading have sold water in the Adams Mission area. Multi Solutions successfully tendered in October 2023 to supply water trucks and drivers to deliver municipal water to eThekwini residents in areas with limited or no running water. The company is one of 7 doing so. In February 2024, a resident sent ground-up photos of a driver selling water from an unmarked truck in Adams Mission. The resident, who is a community leader in the area, asked to remain anonymous due to concerns over his safety.
Now, Mozambique's ruling Frelimo party has announced Daniel Chapo will be its presidential candidate in an election scheduled for October. Frelimo has governed the Southern African country since gaining independence in 1975 and hopes Chapo will lead the party to another victory in the 9 October election. The soap opera of speculation is over, including speculation about the third term. President Filipe Nyusi said on state television on Sunday, dismissing the prospect of contesting elections again. We must all unite Comrade Daniel Francisco Chapo in the demanding march towards electoral victory next October, Nyusi said. Mozambique's constitution limits the president to 2 5-year terms. However, there had been media speculation that Nyusi would seek a third term after his re-election as party leader in 2022.
Now, the Rwandan government says it will not shoulder responsibility for the bombing of internally displaced people's camps around Goma in the Democratic Republic of Congo. It comes after the U.S. State Department said the mortars that killed at least 16 people were fired from positions held by the Rwandan army and the M23 rebel group. Congolese media also reported that the mortars were fired from rebel-held positions. 30 other people were wounded when mortars hit Lac Vert and Mugunga IDP camps near the eastern Congolese city of Goma. The attempt by the U.S. State Department to immediately and without any investigation place blame on Rwanda for the loss of lives in the IDP camps is unjustified. A statement by the Rwandan government said Rwanda will not shoulder responsibility for the bombing of the IDP camps around Goma.
In our next story, authorities of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency have vowed to intensify their crackdown on the trafficking and distribution of narcotics and other dangerous substances in the country, with a caveat to arrest and ensure the prosecution of any top public officials engaged in the unwholesome act. Some time ago, the local media reported a division between the director and deputy director Abraham Kroma and Hassan Fadiga, but the duo appear to have settled their differences, as evidenced by their presence at a news conference they jointly addressed at the agency's headquarters in Sincor, Monrovia over the weekend. Speaking during the conference, Kroma said the agency has become more robust in the execution of its mandate by going after drug traffickers and distributors. He observed that the influx of these substances in Liberia continues to recklessly kill people.
Now, Air Tanzania Company Limited has signed a training agreement with Nigeria's IBOM Air. Under this agreement, ATCL will provide 2 senior pilots to train and supervise IBOM Air's pilots in operating the new Airbus A220 aircraft for 6 months. Speaking of the agreement, ATCL's Chief Executive Officer Ladislaus Matindi said ATCL pilots will be responsible for conducting and overseeing practical training until they are satisfied that the student pilots and their instructors have reached the required standards to operate these aircraft. Additionally, IBOM Air will pay ATCL the training costs according to the contract for the entire duration of the agreement. The agreement follows ATCL's demonstration of extensive experience in operating Airbus A220-300 aircraft. According to Mr. Matindi, IBOM Air is also satisfied with the proficiency level of Air Tanzania pilots. The training aims to build capacity for IBOM Air pilots who will operate Airbus A220 aircraft. Those have been our top stories on Africa Good Morning. After the break, we talk to Mike Sichula in Zambia.
Welcome to Namibia, where adventure meets tranquility. With Enjoy, you have access to a wide range of accommodations to suit every traveler's taste and budget. Experience the finest dining and hospitality Namibia has to offer. Booking your dream accommodation is just a few clicks away with Enjoy. Join thousands of happy travelers who have trusted Enjoy for their Namibian getaway. Your gateway to unforgettable Namibian adventures. Visit us today at enjoy.my.na.
All right, it's time for us to talk to Mike Sichula in Zambia. Mike Udiwanji. Okay, still waiting on Mike Sichula to join us, but just to go through some of the top stories we're going to be talking about, or at least hoping to talk about, should network allow. All right, it seems like Mike is here. Mike, are you there? Doesn't seem like we have Mike Sichula there. We're having some issues, but I'm going to go through his stories. We'll take a short break and we'll see if he can join us thereafter. Authorities have scaled up efforts to rearrest Kaiser Lusaka, a former political advisor to President Edgar Lungu. Mike Sichula, I believe you're there now.
Africa, good morning to our dear viewers.
Africa, good morning indeed. So let's talk about Kaiser Lusaka.
Yes, so political advisor to former President Edgar Lungu. So he was he's being wanted by the Immigration Department, who have partnered with other stakeholders to rearrest him. Mr. Zulu is facing some charges in court. Among the cases he's facing is failure to appear before an immigration officer and surrender his diplomatic passport that he was issued to when he served as political advisor to President Lungu. So there was a video last week that emerged on social media that was showing Mr. Zulu to well and was being attended to by paramedics. The origin of that video is not certain, though some speculations it could be in South Africa or Zimbabwe, where he might be hiding. He's been in hiding now for more than 6 months. He left the country in circumstances when he was due by court. So the Immigration Department is partnering with other nations where he is suspected to be there so that they can track him down.
All right, now, Mr. Sichula, we understand that the Africa Centers for Disease Control's governing board has called for predictable and sustainable financing for future pandemics. Do tell us more.
Yeah, so this was said by Zambia's Health Minister, Silva Masebo, who is the African Center for Disease Control governing board chairperson. She was speaking when she opened a high-level virtual ministerial consultation meeting for the International Governmental Negotiating Body. The minister said that the African continent must come together to prepare how to address pandemics on the continent. She said that the common African position at the pivotal moment as World Health Organization member states agreed to resume negotiations aimed at finalizing the West pandemic agreement. And the minister also congratulated all African ministers of health for agreeing on a common African position towards robust pandemic preventions and preparedness when she addressed the meeting last week.
All right, Mike, moving on. Police have launched a manhunt for a man and his 2 children who brutally beat up a pregnant woman and dumped her at a hospital.
Yeah, this is an incident that happened on Tuesday, the 30th of April, where a 6-month pregnant woman of Lusaka was beaten by her husband and 2 stepchildren after she confronted when she discovered that he was on AR drugs. So apparently she was married to this man, but the man did not disclose to her HIV status, and not until she discovered that the man was on ARV drugs. So when the husband was confronted, the husband named Friday Musuka got annoyed, and with the help of his 2 children, they used slaps, fits, and kicks and bottles to beat the 6-month-old pregnant woman. When they discovered that she became unconscious, they took her to the Lesa Medical Hospital, dumped her, and they ran away. And police have since launched a manhunt for them.
That is truly horrifying. All right, now, Mr. Sishela, closing off your top stories. The head of the Energy Regulation Board has been placed on forced leave following a recent hike in the price of fuel.
Yeah, so Zambia uses a monthly price review on petroleum products. So last month, getting into this month, the Energy Regulation Board adjusted the price of fuel upwards, which has gone more than beyond $1 per 1 liter. So this has attracted a lot of discontent amongst members of the public, because the UPND administration, when they were campaigning, they did promise Zambians that the price of fuel is going to reduce. But since they took over power 2 years ago, the price of fuel has been escalating ever since. So now, when the ERB announced these changes, members of the got annoyed. Then later on, within the space of 48 hours, the Energy Regulation Board announced that they were increasing electricity tariffs. This is after board meetings, it has emerged in the public that the adjustments were made without consultations within themselves at the ERA board, and also government was not informed. So the Director General has been placed on leave. Then also the board chairperson, who is accused of pulling in the opposite directions within the institution, has been issued with a vote of no confidence by other members of the board. So we are likely to have changes at the Energy Regulation Board in the Director General and the board chairperson.
We'll certainly be keeping an eye on that, Mike. Thank you very much for bringing us the news stories from Zambia.
Thank you very much. Africa, good morning to our dear viewers.
All right, we'll now take a look at the weather predictions for Southern Africa just before we get into our economic news.
You're still with Africa. Good morning. Let's get straight into our economic news stories. With Russia's stated interest in the African market, more countries on the continent are beginning to gravitate towards partnering with the Asian giant. This time, it is the Central African nation of Sao Tome and Principe that have decided to enter a military partnership with Russia. Very recently, there has been an influx of Russian deals in Africa, including economic and military partnerships. This seems to be coming at the expense of Western influence on the continent. Over the last few months, Russia has made several plays on the African market. Given its growing popularity in the region, Russia has decided to go on a campaign to strengthen its presence on the mother continent via initiatives and partnerships. Some of these partnerships are not only economical but also martial. While Russia is conscious of the economic significance of Africa given its vast human and natural resources, it has also decided to strengthen its military influence on the continent. Very recently, it decided to partner with another African country, one that is largely reserved. A report by the Russian newspaper Sputnik revealed that Russia recently signed a deal with the Central African nation Sao Tome and Principe.
Now, in some more economic news, a court in Abuja, Nigeria's capital, has adjourned a money laundering trial against cryptocurrency exchange Binance and two of its executives to May 17th. The adjournment came Thursday after Chukwuka Ikwazom, a lawyer for the exchange, said he had not been served with documents needed to prepare for the case. Binance and its executives Tigran Gambarian, a U.S. citizen, and British-Kenyan Nadeem Anjarwala are charged with money laundering more than $35.4 million and engaging in specialized financial activities without license. In addition to the money laundering case by the EFCC, Nigeria's anti-graft agency, Binance also faces 4 counts of tax evasion in a separate trial that will resume on May 17th. The Binance executives have all pleaded not guilty.
All right, those have been our economic news stories on Africa. Good morning. Let's head over to the indicators just before Ari brings us the sport.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, starting off with soccer news first. Exciting few weeks that's left in the English Premier League, and it's coming to an end. It is on the 19th of May, the last games of the English Premier League season for the season 2023-2024 will be played. Tough at the top, it's 2 teams that's basically in the running to win the English Premier League. It is Arsenal leading at the moment, 83 points after 36 games, and then defending champions Manchester City, 82 points after 35 games. So what's left? Arsenal need to play 2 more games. They have a tough game on Sunday, the 12th of May. That's when they play at Manchester United. And then their last game of the season on the 19th will be at home against Everton. For defending champions Manchester City, they have a away game to Fulham. That is on Saturday the 11th of May. And then they have a game on the Tuesday the 14th. That is a away game also against Tottenham Hotspur. So 2 away games for for Manchester City before they finish the season on the 19th with a home game against West Ham. So all to play for in the English Premier League. In golf, it was the Canadian Taylor Pendrith that won the CJ Cup Byron Nelson tournament in Texas. That's on the USPGA. He birdied the final hole for 67. That's for a total of -23 for the 4 rounds. He beat Ben Coles of the United States by 1 shot. He was second on -22. On to rugby news. It is the 7th season that came to an end. The season winners, the league winners for the men, is Argentina. They beat South Africa for 5th place. That was in Singapore, and that was enough for them to win the season, their first league title ever. The tournament in Singapore, the men's division, won by New Zealand, beating Ireland by 17 points to 14. In the women's side of the draw, it was New Zealand that beat Australia by 31-21, enough for New Zealand to be the league winners also for 2024. And to conclude today's international sports news, it is tennis news. It is the Italian Open that will start this week, and it is the Madrid Open that was concluded over the weekend. Not good news for the organizers is that home favorite in the men's division, Yannick Sinner of Italy, he will not be able to play in the Italian Open in Rome. He's got a hip injury, so he withdrew from the tournament. Also out of the tournament is world number 3, that is Carlos Alcaraz of Spain. He's got a right forearm injury, so also had to withdraw from the Italian Open in Rome. Good news for the organizers, though, is that world number 1 Novak Djokovic will be able to play in the Italian Open. He didn't play in Madrid the past 2 weeks, but he confirmed that he will play in the Italian Open. And also Rafael Nadal of Spain. He's also going to be playing in the Italian Open. It's the last tournament that Rafael Nadal will play in Italy, as he's retiring at the end of the season. That's international sports news for today. Hope you have a great sport day, and we talk international sport again tomorrow. Goodbye.
eTicket, your online ticket solution for events and event marketing, bringing you ease of mind and making sure that your event gets out there. For more information, contact events@nmh.com.na.
Lens.
You're still with Africa. Good morning. For those of you that are just joining us, let's take a look at the highlights from today's broadcast. Water-starved eThekwini families are being charged for free municipal water. Mozambique's ruling party announces Chapo as presidential candidate. Russia spreads its military influence to another African country.
And in a quick extra sports update, English Premier League, there was a game last night. Manchester United lost 4-0 to Crystal Palace. They are now fighting to play in the Europa League. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. From Africa, good morning. Diana Masta and Ashwin Berry. Suraj Kanaka.